Thank you. All right. Thank you and good morning, everyone. I think two things are important here. Can you see the screen and can you hear my voice? Can you hear my voice? And can you see the screen? That screen is what you should be looking at. Can you see it, everybody? All right. So yeah, so we're just trying to implement basic databases. In as much as I know that you've been taught some things, let me just lay some simple foundation. You all know what a database is and why we need a database, and you can have examples of database in our everyday lives. Is that okay? Hello, I need feedback. You understand the concept of a data item, record, rows, database file, and database objects. Do you understand? You understand the database table, you understand query, you understand form, you understand reports. Do you understand? If you don't, just tell me so that I can clearly run over it. Good. Now, you understand why we need the databases. Are you with me? Good. For instance, when you talk about the database table, a database table are just rows and columns. For instance, let me see, I think I have one here so that I can quickly explain that to you so that you understand what a database table is. Then we'll look at object of a database. Now, good. Right. Now, can you see the screen? This is an example of a table. Are you with me? It has rows and what? And columns. It has rows and columns. Now, we could have multiple tables. And let me give you an example. For instance, you as a student now, you have a table where your name, your personal detail is. On your portal, they call it your profile. Is that okay? It has your surname, your other names, your title, your matric number, your age, and all those things. You also have another record, probably another table. Please, if you are sitting down, sit on time. Your academic records. That your academic record will now consist of the courses you registered for. Are you with me? The semester that you registered for that courses and the grade you have in those courses. We speak about two different tables now. Is that okay? Now, if we now go to medical center, if you eventually have another table about you, hello, that table will now consist, it will still have your name, your matric number. Are you with me? It will also have what we call your genotype, your blood group, because you know when you went to medical center for registration, you also fill some information. Are you with me? So you can see only you appearing in different tables. Are you with me? Good. Each of these is called a table. What do I call it? Table. What do I call it? Table. Apart from table, we also have what we call a form, F-O-R-M. What do you use form to do? You use form to gather data. You know, there are different ways of gathering data. Are you with me? One of the ways of gathering data is by using form. Some of you have filled form online before. When you supply all those information, what do? You click on what? Submit. So when you submit, each of the form you have filled, each of the person that have filled the form is appearing as a line here. Are you with me? It is the people at the back end that will see all this. When you fill form, it's only your own that you see. Are you with me? And that is why when we talk about development now, so people talk about front end, people talk about back end. Front end is talking about those who works with the user interface, and that's what we call UI. But when you click submit, it's relating with the database, and they call that backend. Are you with me? So at the back end, you see everybody that have filled the form. Each of what you have here is a record. Each of this is a record. This is a record. Is that okay? This is a record. Is that okay? This is a field. Now, what's the difference between a record and a field in a table? A record contains information about an entity. And the word entity is very encompassing, because database is not all about people. You can keep database about objects. You can keep database about process. Are you with me? If you don't use form to capture database, let's assume there is a camera here at the entrance, and as you come in, it captures you at the time you enter. All those things also go to the back end like this. So that camera is a way of capturing data too. Is that okay? We also have sensors. Sensors also help us to capture data. You see some doors, when it senses people and object coming, it opens. That's data. I mean, it sends a data, it triggers an activity. Are you with me? Now, so you understand a form as it's being used to capture data, and you also understand a table. Are you there? Good. You can also have what we call a query. What is a query? A query now is when you ask a database question. For instance, let's assume all the records of everybody in the University of Lagos are somewhere. Then I need to work with people from mass comm department on their level. So I can issue a query and say, give me records of people in mass comm 200 level. You know, it will extract those records out. Probably there are 100 or 200. So over 20,000 students that are in one student. That is what is called what? A query. So a query is when you ask a question for a certain type of data to be requested from a pool of data. Do you understand that? And when you are implementing query, I know some of you must have heard of MySQL, SQL Server. SQL does mean structured query language. We actually use it to implement database and ask questions. Are we together? Hello, I need feedback. Are you lost or you are fine? You are fine. Up until this point, you are fine. Is that okay? Now, when you are implementing database, there are several activities you can do with database. When you are implementing a database, there are several tools you can use. I choose Access because it's easily available. If you have Microsoft Office on your system, you definitely have Access. Because if you have to have SQL Server or MySQL, it might need to take 2 or 3 other extra steps and probably pay some subscriptions because you can have it full-fledged. Is that okay? But if you understand the basic concept of keeping a database with Microsoft Access, when you move to any of those other applications, it won't be difficult. You have Oracle, you have Infomix, you have a SQL Server, you have MySQL, you have Access, and several applications you can use to keep database. And when you keep a database, several objects can relate to that database. A website can relate with that database. So from an HTML, from a web portal, you can relate to a database. And you know, almost every activity you do results into a database. When you go to the bank, you want to open an account, they give you a form to fill or you fill it online. What's that doing? It's a database. Now, apart from that, when you make an ATM withdrawal, you do a transfer, those things appear as rows of record in your statement of account. Is that okay? A database. Are you there? Now, there's 1 or 2 things I want to talk about again regarding the component of a database. And I want to talk about what we call primary field or unique field. What do I call it? You can call it primary field, you can call it unique field. What is it? Every table must have it. It is that field that has unique a record about everybody. That field that have unique record. When I say it's unique, it means no 2 records can have the same thing. That's called a primary key. And let me give you 4 or 5 examples. In school, you have your matric number. Is that okay? That your matric number, it's a unique key where you have student database because no other students can have a matric number. In the bank, you have bank account number. Sometimes if you have 3, 4, 5 different accounts, each of those 3, 4, 5 different accounts will have 3, 4, 5 different account numbers. That is a unique key. Now, apart from a unique key, we also have what we call a foreign key. What do I call it? What is a foreign key? A foreign key is a unique key in one table but it's not unique in another. And I'll tell you, I'll give you an example. Now, you know, in a banking transaction, you already have your account number, which is unique to you. Is that okay? But every time you generate a transaction, whether you made a withdrawal, there's a deposit, you make a POS payment, you make an ATM withdrawal, it's a transaction. And it also has its own record. For instance, they will have account number, time of transaction, amount, either deposit or credit, nature. Then they will have feedback, either successful or not successful. That's also a table on its own. In that sense, in a transaction table, your account number is coming almost all the time. So it's no more unique in that table. In the place where you have list of customers, your account number is unique because you are the only customer with that account. But where you have transaction on the same account, it is no more unique. In that sense, a transaction ID is generated. A transaction ID is what? In that place, the transaction ID is the unique key on the transaction table, but your account number is a foreign key. It is unique on its own where you have bank account owner database, but it's not unique on the transaction ID because it's the same account that is bringing out different transactions at different times. Is that clear? So you understand the primary key now and you understand the foreign key. Is that okay? Good. Now, later on, we can talk about relationships, but let me allow us do some hands-on. Relationship is, for instance, the other time I gave example of your database on student records, your scores and the courses you've written on academic records, your blood group, your genotype, your what other things they collect in the hospital, your height, your vision, in another table called medical table. Are you with me? Now, so if someone, peradventure a scholarship opportunity or something, now need information about you, your name, your matric number, your last CGPA, the number of units of course you have passes, your genotype, and your blood group. This means they need information across those three tables. And those three tables are residing in different locations. You can now create a relationship. We call it entity relationship. So you can have one-to-one, you can have one-to-many, you can have many-to-many. Because by the time it's picking out those records, it will come on another table. When you are running that query, it will come on just one single table. Whereas it's picking the information from, thank you. Are we there, everybody? So let's see how to include.
Looking lost.
Looking lost? Is there anybody that is lost? Except for those who just came in.
Please ask the question.
Well, I think I'm recording the class, so I think it can be sent back to you so that we can make the best use of our 2 hours. Now, right, comment. Now, let me see this. No. Can you see my screen now, everybody? This is Microsoft. You can see my screen. This is Microsoft Access. As it is now, I've not created any table. Is that okay? So you now said we want to create a blank data. You know how to launch Microsoft Access, everybody? Hello? Talk to me. You can launch Word, you can launch Excel, you can launch your browser. Okay. So the same way, just look for where Microsoft Access is on your system and click on it. That's all. And it takes you here. Is that okay? So when it takes you here, you just click on a blank database. So it asks you to give the database a name. So borrow me somebody's name here. What's the course code of this course? What's the course code of this?
Code. LI 228.
EL.
LI.
LIS underscore 228. Now, let me show you something. You know, I use LIS as underscore. Anytime you are saving a file that is in a database environment, don't use a space when there is need for you to space the words. Because anytime you need to refer back to that database, you have issues. Always use an underscore. Underscore give you a one-word effect with space at the same time. Do you get this? Have you just seen what I've done? Good. So you just click on create. So when you click on create, it's creating. This is what you have. Are you getting what I'm trying to say now? You can see we have file, normal, your home, your create. You can see these are options. These are things you can create. SharePoint list, table, you can create a form. You can get data. In Microsoft Access has a very strong handshake with other database bases. So if a data is existing in any of the other databases, you can get it into Microsoft Access, just like Access can also give to them. Is that okay? So the holder, that is the software that is holding the database, is not much of a concern here. You can see you can get data from Excel, from Dataverse, from PDF, from email, from Word, from, do you get? And if you have others from SharePoint, from XML file, from HTML document, are you there? Good. Now, these are the database tools. You can, I told you can create relationship, dependency. That's when you are running query. We can't talk about macro now. We are not yet advanced to use macro. Good. Now, the first thing you do, you can choose to start adding records straight away, but that is not a clean way of doing it. The first thing you do is you create what we call a table design. What do I call it? And that table design is called the database structure. Some people call it database skeleton. So I've called the same thing 3 names. The first one is what? Or what does that mean? You know, if you look at it from the skeleton part, we say the skeleton are the bone, Abi. So what you now see are the flesh. All of us that are here, if they show you our skeleton, we'll be able to identify this person, this person. It might be difficult. Now, what does the structure, what does it do? That is where you define what comes into the database in terms of what are the fields it's going to have. What is the data types? Because we have different kind of data. For instance, a place that is meant to collect name, receive name in a form. Look at it. When you are filling form online, sometimes you're supposed to type number and you type a name, it will not receive it. Or it tells you it's wrong. Because when they are designing the structure, it has been specified that for this very particular field, this is the kind of information that we want. So any information that does not represent what is expected is rejected. And it's one of the ways of ensuring database integrity. Because if a database doesn't have integrity, you won't be able to use it. You know, there is a process from transforming raw data to an information. Hello, everybody. Now, if the data is not correct, if it takes just any nonsense, at the end of the day, you'll be able to do anything serious with it. And the rule of GIGO comes to play here, that when you garbage in, you garbage out, that output is as a result of the quality of inputs. Are we together? So how do we design this? So let's assume, let's move together as a class. Let's agree on which database you want us to create what, so that you can contribute. Student? Library related. Library related, okay.
Specialized to data.
No, it's not library related. You talk about books, Abi?
Circulation.
What is circulation?
That's circulation, student registration.
Student registration, Abi. So the first thing that's probably you have the student matric number, Abi. Matric number. Now, the next thing is data type. You can see the type of data type. Look at the type of data type in Excel. What do you see? lookup wizard. Let me do a short brief on all of this. If it is short text, probably okay, look at it. If you select short text, probably it's a text with probably 50 characters, including spaces. That is what go inside. What I say you should not put space on is the title and the name. What go inside can have space. Are you with me? Then long text, if it is a memo, peradventure, you are documenting reports, and there's a place where you have some extensive lineup. You can declare that as long text. When you say number, it can only take number 0 to 9. It depends on how you're working. There is a place you can change it to. We have different types of number. We have four major types of number. What are the 4 major types of number that we have? We have a binary. Binary is just zeros and ones. We have decimal. Decimal is 0 to 9. We have octa. Octa is 0 to 7. And we have hexadecimal. Hexadecimal is 1 to 16. In hexadecimal, A, B, C, D, E, F are numbers. Because A is 11, A is 10, B is 11, C is 12, like that. Are you with me? But it's mostly used in engineering, so you might not need that now. Are you with me? So matric number is a short text. Now, when you finish short text, now you now have something here. What do you have here? And what you have in front of it? What that means is that whether you put the description or not, your database will work very well. Why is it necessary for us to put the description? This is where you see the difference between an expert database person, an open database person, and someone that is not. Because the truth is, when you create a database, it's meant to be used for something. Anything can happen to you. Don't let us think of something bad. Let's assume you go higher. When you go higher, you're not going with the database. The organization that owns the database have their database. Somebody else needs to move into your role and continue what you're doing. What you have in this description is where you can put notes that will help you, because you might create this database and you might not need to amend anything in another 5 years. But in another 5 years, you might have forgotten some of the things you did today and why you do it. But with that notes, it will help you. And that's why it's optional. It's actually meant for you. It's meant for the organization. So if somebody else, for instance, somebody leaves his job and you are employed, and today they give you a whole lot of tables, and you start to relate with them, definitely the first thing you need to do is to understand those tables. Because you give reports, you speak to them. Field like description help you to understand faster and quicker. Are you with me? So we can now say in description that this field receive student matriculation number, which is supposed to be unique in nature. Unique means it cannot be duplicated. No 2 people can have the same record. Having said that, do you see what you have under field properties? Now, calling this matric number short text is not enough. So you can now put further restriction. Short text can take 255. Let's now assume our matric number is 9. So you can reduce this to 9. So what that means is that this field cannot take any record that is more than 9. It cannot take any record that is more than 9. Are you with me? Then this one is where we have format, input mask. This format, don't let me stress you about format and input mask. Okay. There's another thing that is important here. Having done this, you can just right click on it. When you right click, what are the options that you see? Immediately I make this a primary key, you see a key by its side. What that means is that whatever is generated here, nobody can duplicate it. If you put another one that is existing before, it's going to reject it. Because you've already made sure that that field is a primary field, which means any record that will be going inside must be unique. Those who have access on their system, are you implementing this? Well, I think your course lecturers they can choose to give you the video so that at some point.
I expect you to also open your laptop and open Microsoft Access
Or you don't have access on your system.
No, you so do you have Microsoft Word? You have your laptop.
You have Microsoft Office. What do you have? WPS. What do you have? What do you use to do your basic Word and assignment and all this stuff? Google. Okay.
Google Notes.
Google has a complete suite as well. Now, let's now assume we have surname. Surname also is short text. We can now say this take the surname. Now, I will just put comment in these two. I will not put description in the others for us to be faster, but you understand how to do it and what it is meant for. Good. So this, I can say, what's the longest name? Number of characters we have in the longest name? Huh? It's more than 10. If not say some name, oh my God. Let's say 20. Let's say 20. So we have first name. First name. Short text too. Let's keep that one as 20. I won't put description in that one so that we can be fast. We have other name. Short text. Let's leave it at 22. Gender. Gender. Okay, let's leave gender as short text. But it will only take one character. Only one character. M for male and F for female. You have another class? Okay, you want to move to where you can see. M for male and F for female. Good. Are you there? What other things do you have in circulation? What other things? Huh? Okay. Age. That one will be what? Number. Is that okay? And instead of, now for number, look at it. You can see that when we select short text, the field size we have, it was giving us whether we can change it to from 2 to 5, we can change it to 1, 2, 3. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? But because we've selected this as number, so you can say we have byte, integer, long integer, single, or double. Let's just take integer now. With time, I think or decimal. Let me explain decimal and integer. Something that, for instance, where you have height, somebody's height can be, give me an example of the height. 5 points. No. So anything that will have decimal places after it, you declare it as decimal. But if it is just one digit, probably 30, 25, without a decimal place, you can decide it as what? Integer. Do you get it? Hello? I need feedback. I don't know. Do you understand what we're discussing? Okay.
Are you sure?
It's indeed. Now, let me look for another field. Okay. I want to try something. Let me look for something to put here. Let's just do this. Account balance. There is no need for okay, let's say library account balance. I just want to explain. I want to explain. Sorry, 1 minute. Hello. Shout to I love you. Control them. You have to be took into them because I watch a class. Now, if you look at this library account balance, it's not relevant here, but I just want to use to explain a concept. Sometimes you want to type something in and you want to put a condition. For instance, you probably the account number, you probably will put its number. or decimal. Let's assume decimal, because or we can even use currency. There's provision for currency. Are you with me? There's provision for currency. And in the currency, you now see different currency of the world. You can see Naira is there. Euro, standard. You can see. So let's assume Naira. Are you with me? Now, look at this validation rule and validation text. That's why I put it there. Let's assume there is a rule that your library balance must not be less than 500. That your library balance must be between 500 and 5,000. Are you with me? It should not be more than 5,000 and it should not be less than 500. So you can come to this validation rule and click here. When you click, it gives you a dialog box. Are you with me? Are you with me? Good. So when you expand this, you can say, let's use less than 500. Let's just try less than 500, because this could take a whole of our time. So let's assume we are done with this. Our table is still table 1. You know, a table is a component of a database. It's the database that we call LIS 228. So this is table 2 now. So this table 2, I can now save it. I said we should call it circulation, Abi. Circulation. Good. So we have the table circulation. Is that okay? So we can now go back and look at view. That I want to view it in data sheet view. You know, what we are now is design view. Is that okay? I told you design can be called structure and can be called what? I gave you 3 names for a skeleton. So when we come to data sheet view, we can now add, you can see now, we can now add what? We can now add data. Are you with me? Now, if it is online, you don't need to add data. What you need to do for those who develop backend, you will now attach this table to the form. Hello? Do you get it? Assuming the data here is not to be manual, assuming it's to be filled via a website. What you do is all you do here is just to create the form. I mean the design, just like you have done. Is that okay? With all the specifications and things that you expect. You know, there is no data here yet. But what we did in the design is what you see here: matric number, surname, first name, other names. You can expand it. Do you get? You can expand it, do anything with it. Other names, gender, age, library account balance. And you can also add more here, but we are not doing that yet. Are you with me? So if this is to be done manually, you will see how we will do it. If it's not to be done manually, that's all you need to do from here. All you need to do is now to attach this to a form, so that when people click submit on that form, whatever they submitted on that form just come in here, and as they keep growing. Do you understand it? But that is beyond our scope now, because if it is within our scope, that means we might have got some training in HTML, in web design. So whatever you do in the HTML will now be the front end. So as they click submit, it now comes to your database here at the back end. Do you understand? Now, so let's add record now. And you will now see, let's look at some of those our restrictions. We say this one cannot take more than 9, Abi. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm typing on my keyboard, but nothing is coming in again. Because when we select it as short text, we said it should take maximum of, it can take up to 255. Is that okay, everybody? So somebody borrow me his matric number.
09
09 10 501. Good. For information security, let's use somebody else's surname. Somebody else's surname different from the person that gave the matric number. Olasoji. So his first name is Aremu. And the other name is what? The other name. Other name. It's Chima. Now, look at this. Gender, we say it can take only one. M for male and F for female. I have typed M now. On my system, I'm typing some other thing, but it's not going because we have restricted it that it should take only one character. You are now seeing the importance of having a database structure. It allows the rules, create the platform for which all the things will come in. If not, anybody will type anything and it will take it. Then the integrity of the database is becoming questionable. Is somebody following me? Okay. Now, when you are done, let's assume his age is 25. His account balance is 1,000. There's an error. He didn't take it. Do you know why he didn't take it? But what I put there is less than 500. Can you read? One or more values are prohibited by the validation rule, less than 500. Set for circulation dot. Look at this. Look, this is how you identify database objects. You know, this is how you identify database objects. The name of the table is what? Circulation. The name of that field is library account balance. You can see the way it's a circulation dates. So to show that library account balance is an object in circulation table, because you also have other table. So in database programming, that is where how you use to identify where each object belongs to. Is somebody with me? So it's now saying that what we enter contradicts the rule. So since we say it's less than 500, so if I put 300, I will just be fine. No complaint. So you've seen the importance of having a database skeleton. If you give them this video, you should give them a project. All of them must create something. Sure. So you might put them into group and tell them what they should create.
Even initially, I was discussing that sure, there's no way you can have, just as we did for the SAS string that we did the SAS string where we look at the three calling operators, and at the end of the day, I give them an assignment. Generate I give them variables, then use it to generate results for me. There's no way you will be taught database creation and you won't do assignment. In fact, it's going to avoid major bulk of your work. It may not even be part of it may even be extended into the exam. Because of what use? Listen, librarianship is not about book any longer. It's about your ability to create, an ability to manipulate software. If you know this, just like we talk about LMS, library management software, once you know one aspect, one library management software, you know all, because they all have the same templates. Just one or two fields that may not be there. So if you know how to use Access and other database that will be introduced to later, it may not be a difficult issue. And there's no way you can run away from database creation. There's no way. Anywhere you find yourself, you must create a database. So if I DB fit, the video may be shared, because I don't want them to relax that because the video will be shared. No, there may not be secondary knowledge. Let's take the primary knowledge we're getting now. But we will definitely do a project. Thank you.
All right, thank you, everyone. So you can see now. So what is left now is just to add records. Are you with me? And I told you there are different ways of populating it. And let me also say, this is the most basic way of populating. You can populate through forms. Are you with me? Then there are some databases. I think at some point you will get there in your journey. There are some databases that 1 million people are hitting at the same time. You know how people are doing GT transaction as we speak. And all of them are hitting the same database. Some are doing withdrawal. Some are doing deposits from different terminal, POS, ATM, online, phone. That is how active the database can be. But all this, the users don't see it. But people in the control room, they see all this. And that is why sometimes, for security, most of them, their server room is disconnected from where you see people. That's why sometimes you move on the island, you see a building, come there, don't know what they do. That could be where they are managing All those who are customer service complaint, they attend to email, check, correct it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because it's an environment that needs serious concentration. And even here in library, just like a prof have said, library science has gone beyond books. The e-book in this library is more than the physical books in this library multiplied by 10. And the good news is you don't need to come here to actually use them. What you just need is access to get them anywhere you are. So that you have access to arrays of collections and information. Then you can do whatever you want to do with it. So, but again, this is making you not to just be users. Because some of you will end up working with all these big databases, Elsevier, Scopus, these guys that work with millions of database, Amazons. You can try to say, and you should be able to play some role. And it will also decide where you do your further studies. When you're done with this, you can choose to do your further studies in big data analysis, database, data science, so that it makes you to be very, very strong and make yourself competitive in the global space. Is that okay? So it's one skill that you will need as a librarian or as an information science person. And when you buy a laptop of your own, you must have at least 1 or 2 databases. Because you are expert, you should have more than one, such that you will know how each of them relates. You will know the difference, the capacity, what SQL Server does that is different from Access. And that makes you an expert because you are talking from an informed point of view. Is that okay? Good. So let me spend some time to add more records because there are some things we want to do now that I will need. I think I over-trusted my battery. I will need any HP charger.
What kind of charger is?
Normal HP mount. I over-trusted my battery. I mean, my charger. I left it in the office. So let's add more data. Somebody else give me another person matric number. 230 910 519. Thank God it's 5. Any surname? Etuk. All right. First name. Other name. Gender. Yes. Age. Fear God and keep his commandment too. Okay. Any data, anyone again? Let's quickly have 10. Oh yeah. 2301 910 910 513. Don't worry, it's fictitious. It doesn't have to be correct. Oh yeah, yeah. Any surname?
Let's see.
No, if
one name is okay.
one is part of it, bro. Don't worry, do I write it? I wrote it as a query, but that's fine. Another one. Is that somebody's number?
No.
And the surname is Bakari. Yes.
Excel.
Another one.
680 910.
And the surname is
Okoro.
male or female? Age.
20.
Balance. And the next one is
910. After this, I'm going to get circulation records. We're going to
That's interesting. Now look at something here. You know, we've had this database, this matric number before, as number 2. Don't worry, that's what don't worry. When I press enter, so give me a name. Okay. Okay. Male or female? Okay. This is another error. This is another error. That's new and each field. Don't take record on this. And that number is already existing before. It was existing in number 2. So do you see the effect of some of these things we did when we are creating the design of the database? So without all this, your database is just making any nonsense, and that saying is not a database. So you are seeing the importance of creating the database design or structure before you start adding flesh. All these is more or less like flesh. The design we created is where you need experts. A form can do this. Somebody with O level can do all this. A sound O level person can do all this and keep the record properly. I get what I'm saying. So expert stays where it matters because we have already controlled the kind of thing that can go in here from here. When we are talking about form design, which we might not have time to do today, the way it's displaying this error message, you can change it such that it doesn't display it like this, but it will display it the way you want it to be displayed. This one is system generated. Is that okay? Look at it. It said the changes you made to the table were not successful because they will create duplicate value in the index, primary key, or relationship. Change the data in the field or fields that contain duplicate data, remove the index, or redefine the set to permit duplicate entries and try again. Do you get that? Good. So I can come back here now and change this one to 518. And when I press enter, it's fine. Are you seeing the effect of all this? Yeah. So you can now see there is a counter here that said this row now is row 7. You can see the counter. So each of these now is called a record. I now understand now that a record contains information about a unique entity, whereas field contains the same type of data across all the entities in that table. Are you with me? Good. So let's take the 4 more that we need and go. Another matric number. 444. Okay.
We are matching with them.
Okay, another one.
230. Area.
That one. 9 what? Oh yeah. 230. No, it's not there. Oh yeah, name. B-Ray. Omotayo. Male or female? Okay, the last one now. 910. Name. Yes. Male or female? Male or female? Good. Now we have a table now. Is that okay? We have a table now. Are you there? Good. Now that we have a table, we can do a query. Okay, before the table, let's do a form. We can now do a form. Are you with me? This is an example of a form. This is a form now. This is just an auto form. When you have this, there are a whole lot of things. This is what people in front end, this is what they do. So it's not saying this record 1 of 10 on this form. So if I'm pressing next record, it's changing this automatically. Are you seeing it? So this is an example of a form. I won't teach you how to create a form because that's more or less like a front end. You can do that with different tools, either on the web, either from here. But at least you've seen this. This is a very simple form. I just adapted a form that is existing on the system. So from the form, you can also enter record. And let's look at it. Let's go to the last one. I'm on the last record now. So if I want another record, I click next. So it gives me blank. Are you with me? There's nothing there. Good. Look at this. What do you see here? Do you see what I did? Did you see what I did? Good. Come to create again. Create. In this place, you click query wizard. No, don't let us do that. Let's do query design. Let's do it one step at a time. So this is why you have a query now. Is that okay? This is why you have a query now. When I select this, I didn't see anything. Is that okay? Now, exactly. Look at when I selected query, I see what do you see here? Do you see what you see? So what does that tell you? If you know SQL, even from Access, you can write SQL code that will help you query and access table. But don't let us go that route yet. So the first thing now, coming, is to select a table where you want to use for your query. If you are using a query, you can do query from more than one table. I gave an example the other time now that somebody writes University of Lagos that I need the person's full name, other names, the CGPA. But eventually they say anybody that has CGPA that is more than 4.0, and they also need the block group. That means they'll be relating with 3 databases. The one that have your basic information, the one that have your academic information, and the one that has your medical information. And what they will do that is they will run a query. Is the query that will extract it. Are you there? Good. So here, table name. When you click here, these are the 2 tables we have here. This one was just created automatically. But the table we have full data is what? Circulation. I will now click OK. Hold on. Just hold on. When I've not selected any table, did you see anything here where you have field? Did you see anything there? Do you see anything there? No. So you go to make table, current table. If you click on another table, it will ask you to go to browse where the table is. If the table is outside this database file, if it is outside this LIS2285, it will ask you to browse so that you can go to where the table is to go and pick the table. Is that okay? But the table we want to work with is here. So we just click current database. Then these are the tables in this database. So we want circulation. Is that okay? After I click circulation, I click what? Okay. What has changed? Come here. I'm coming. It's supposed to list all the fields. I'm coming. Select. Hold on. Did we add this table at all? Okay, it's there. Correct. Good. Now, when I added the table, it shows the table here that the table is circulation. You can see when I added the table, it shows that the table is circulation. The name of the table is circulation. Is that okay? And these are the field names in circulation. Have you seen it? And this one is the primary word key. Is that okay? Good. Now, we can now say from this table, we want to see matrix number, surname, first name, and probably only the age. Are you with me? If this is just all we want to see, are you there? Then what do you see here, everybody? Run. So we can run this query. Do you see what has happened now? This is what has happened. From that table, he only gave us this. So we can now query this. Okay, let's leave it as query 1. You can rename this. You can rename the name of this query. You can save it and give the query a name. Is that okay? Let's call it first query. Do you see the effect of query now? Hello, everyone. You see the effect of query now? Or you didn't see, you didn't get it? You didn't get it? Okay, we'll create another query now. I'm coming. This is what I did. You know, when I created the query, it gave me, when I click on create, it gave me a blank something like this. Is that okay? Then I now added the database that I want to use. That's why you have circulation here. Is that okay? Then which field do I want? Show. I now select it. I select it from here. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So when I now run the query, this is what I have. So all of you now, pay attention. I want to run another query. Are you there? So what I do now again, I'll click on create and I'll click on query design. You can see that there is no table there. When I select this, I didn't see anything. Are you with me? You can create a query from an existing table, and you can also create a query from an existing query. So if you look at this place now, it has shown me the tables that I have and the queries that I have. Are you there? So I want to create another query now. So done. I'm creating another query now. So the first thing I do is to pick the table, circulation. Are you there? Then I select the table, add table, circulation. It has brought it here for me. Have you seen it, everybody? When it brings this table in, it begins to show me all the field in circulation. Now, one good thing about query, the way your data is on the table, your query doesn't need to be like that. So we are going to create this table different from the other one. And what do we do? You can choose any field you want first. I can say it's the library account balance I want first in this query. Are you there? Then after the library account balance, I want the matric number of that person. And after the matric number, I want the gender of that person. If I run this query, you can see what it has given me. Account balance, matric number, and gender. And it did not give me in the order it was in my main query. I can decide the order I want. That's one good advantage of query. You can also write criteria. Let's add one criteria now. So we go back. This is the query now. So we can let's save this as second query. Second query. So this second query. So I can go back to the design of the query, design view of the query. This is the design view of the query. Is that okay? When you run the query, is the data sheet view of the query. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Are you there? Now, let's now assume this query, I want to see only people that their gender is M, criteria equal M. Are you there? Automatically, it has put double quotes in front and after. So if I run this query now, do you see the results? This is the result. What we're doing here is just the design view of the query. This same query that I run, if you want to see the SQL statement equivalent, for those who have done SQL, this is the SQL statement equivalent. Select from circulation.library account balance, circulation. Do you get what I say? From circulation, where circulation.gender equals N. Are you there? Are you there?
You're just saying you are not there.
You are lost.
You are lost.
Okay, hold on. What I said, you know how we did this. 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 When you get this, just a foundation. When you get advanced, you don't do this again. You write code to do it. You write code to interact with your database. You can write code to open a database, code to append records, code to delete, code to select. Are you getting what I'm saying? So if you don't want to do this by picking, you can just view the SQL equivalent of it. I will copy the code out. I will copy it into Microsoft Word so that all of us can see it now. This is it now. Let me reduce it. Let me reduce it a little. 24. So can everybody see this? So what that means is this. If you are writing code, SQL code, to relate with that same table, if you are writing SQL code to relate with that same table, so what I'm saying is select things, direction. Circulation of library account balance, then one field. So that field is library account balance. The name of the table is circulation. Hello. Let me answer. Assuming we are relating to this table from another table, you put LIS. What is the LIS one? LIS circulation plots. So this shows that this is a field in this table, and that's the table in that database. Because that LIS is the file name. This circulation is a table. The query just get the first query is also a query table. So you have LIS, you have dot query one, first query, dot second query. Object management. Hello. That is the concept of object-oriented programming. When each element is seen as an objects. Are you with me? So he's selecting these fields. Circulation number is also another field. I mean, circulation gender, those fields that ticked from this database. Where circulation dot gender equal. So if you are not selecting this SQL equivalent of the code we will write to have same results.
Victoria, you have a question because I can see your face. Are you okay?
No, it's not question. If that database is 10 million, as soon as you run this, it's going to bring all of them out. Are you? You know, the other time just run some queries. This one will run another query. Is that okay? Right. So let's go back. Right. Is it still recording? Let me check. Okay, still recording. Now, do you understand it now, everyone? And this is our design. This is where we selected it. Are you with me? So you understand what each of these is talking about now? Hello, everybody. Okay, should we run one more query? We'll run one more query. Okay, let's look at, because you are the one that will answer the question. Let's look at the table first. So the table, the query we want to run now, we want it to show age, gender. Are you writing it down? You are the one that will tell me what to do. I'll ask one of you to come and do it here.
Yes, please. It's a practical.
We want to show age, so write it down. You come and implement it here. Gender, in that order. Age, gender, matric number, where age is less than or equal to 20. Where age is what? Less than or equal to 20. Where age is less than or equal to 20. So before you come to implement it, let me quickly show you some things. Before you come to implement it, let me quickly show you some things. Good. So the person that will implement it should be getting ready. So that leads us to another important part of database management system. You know, when we are putting condition, we call it relational operators. I know Dr. Oki talk about operators. We have different types of operators. We have arithmetic operators, relational operators. Relational operators are also called comparison operators. Is that okay? Now, when you do this, what is this? What is this? So if you are doing greater than or equal to, this is how we do it. If you are doing less than or equal to, this is how we do it. Are you with me? If you want to do not equal to, this is how we do it. So this is what? Not equal to. Do you get it? There are some other operators that we can't talk about now. We have the or operator, we have the and operator as well. We have Boolean is yes or no. It's different from or and and. We have no, we have NAND. But you're used to this now. The reason why I asked to say this because that person is coming to implement is it less than or greater than 20? So who is coming? Uncle? My spirit choose you. Oh, yeah, come. Bring what you wrote down. Oh, yeah, come.
Why you shout?
I was surprised.
And whatever you do, all of them will be seeing it though. All right.
They don't have a drive, just like
So what do you want to implement? What is it? Age, gender, male, where age is less than. Okay, oh yeah. So you can guide you. Go to create. Good. Click on it. You can, anything from here is right click. This is normal clicking. Now, create. You go to query design. So the next thing you do now is to select the table you need. Click on add table. Have you clicked on it?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So do this first. Make table. No, make table. Current table. Then click the drop down.
I should write current table.
No. It's already showing you current table. Click the drop down. The drop down here, and select circulation. And click OK. Good. So add table now. Click it again. It's supposed to give you circulation. Sorry. Yeah, come, don't take your head away. We are in this together. Come. No. Create. Query design. Add table. It's not listing. Table, current table. Are you following the process? So let me sort this out for you. Let me sort this out on you. Tables. Add tables. Do you see now? Circulation. As soon as put calculate, oh yeah. So we can continue from here. As soon as we do that, the field in circulation are showing here. Are you with me? So continue from what you want to select here. Oh yeah. You're selecting it from here. Follow this procedure.
Am I supposed to type it?
Click the drop down to come.
Okay.
Correct. So go to the next one. The next one here. The next row.
Yes.
Good. No, follow this.
Okay.
Good. Good. So what's the criteria now?
Where age is
Less than or equal to 20. So you come to this where you have criteria. This is where you have criteria under age. And I put the criteria. What is the criteria?
where age is less than or equal to 20.
If you want to add less than, how do you try? If you want to add less than, you got to add the right. I just show you on the.
Oh, less than so, this and this.
This, let me see. Correct. No, that's not equal to. No. You use computer at all?
For the kid is something.
Very early. Then
Oh,
20.
yeah, I know.
20. Correct. Run the query now and let everybody see it. What's it? Did you type anything?
Yes.
Okay, don't worry. Hold on. You start again. You start again. Create. Create design. Table. Circulation. Do you get?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Follow what you wrote down. Where you have criteria. Good. So run the query. So you can clap for him.
Yeah, better put your, don't you have your project submitted?
So you can see it brought out age, gender, and matric number. And it's only those that have age that is less than or equal to 20 that I brought out. Do you see it now? Thank you. So if you want to see the SQL Server equivalent. Okay, so let me copy it out so that I can compare it with what we have before. Do you see it now? Do you see the SQL Server equivalent? Because we said we want to select age, gender, and matric number from circulation. Because I don't think you can don't query from different. Here, because of time, just create only one thing. If you have another side, we'll create more tables. And now see how to extract the block query on different tables. You can understand that. So from this table, we are age is less than or equal to race. Hello. So what gives you more examples of query using or and using and? What is the difference between or and in logic? Who wants to explain? What's the name? Uncle? What's the name? What's the difference between or and?
I hear you.
Give the example to explain what you're saying. Cite instances.
What if I go fancy? I want this.
That's not all.
Okay, I want this.
And it's
Who is the best man in this class? Your president. I have tell him I'll bring back. Who is I
we are not GPA.
No. Who is Ayobami? I'm interested in Ayobami, but who is Ayobami? Who is Ayobami? We are not ready between or and. Let me ask. Come on, why? Where is you go? Who's that? Yeah, that I'm going to or and. And the thing we start together, I think we're finished.
If there's either like or either anyway, so it can either be source on live management.
That is a better idea than your two friends that spoke earlier. Within the concept of database, for instance, if you said, I want people in this database now, you said people whose age is less than or greater than, less than or equal to 20. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Now, or if they are male, which means all the male are qualified. Then everybody that their age is less than or equals to 20 is also qualified. How do we implement that? How do we implement that? Now just look at what you will change will just be different, and I will show you the SQL equivalent. You know what we did? This is what we did here before. Everybody look at it. This is the real table, the 10 data we put in. Is that okay? How many male do we have? Let's count. So definitely how many female do we have? So note it. 4 male, 6 female. Note it down. This is the query. What's his name? Let me name the query after him. What's the name of the man that came out? Query Chinedu. So this is Query Chinedu. I taught you query with first query and second query. So Query Chinedu now. So let's view the design view. This is where he has the criteria. Is that okay? If you are using and, the criteria for the other field must be on the same line. But if you are using or, you can come to the second or third. Are you with me? So you can see or here. So or gender equal what? Okay, hold on. Let's see the result of Query Chinedu first before you get it. This result of Query Chinedu. This is the result. Is that okay? How many male? How many female? Good. So if I come to that same query and I say or gender equal male, it's just a matter of putting male here. Or gender equal male, not magic number. What I want is male. Are you with me? If I run this query, just by doing this, you see what happened. You can see. It listed everybody that have male, and it listed those that have less than 20. Are you with me? That is all. That's the all statement. Any of them that will satisfy the criteria will be listed. Do you get me? Hello? Look at it. They said, if you have 4A1 or you are from Anambra State, you will get admission. So that means if you are from Anambra State, even if all you have to see, you will get admission. And if you have 4A1 from whatever state, whether Anambra or that, you get admission. That is A. But if you say if you are from Anambra State and you have 4As, you get admission. It means you must satisfy the two criteria. You must have 4 from Anambra State and you must have. How do we implement that here? Just okay. Before I do that, let me get out the SQL view. Good, very good. Before I do that, let me get out the SQL equivalent so that I can see it. Do you see it now? Sorry. Do you see it now? Do you see it now? The same. Yeah. Or the other time, we have 2 records. Now this is not 6 records out of 10. Because by the time you have database, the real needs is what you do. Don't you do something here? When you start here, you don't get paid. You want all the books that are written by this author. You want all the articles that is published between these data. You want to make it stupid. You are asking a database question and it's requiring all the record that satisfy your question. Hello. So let's try and then we can call this class. We can have closing remarks. Now, let's go back to the same query. And the query is a query Chinedu. So let's assume we come back to the query now. So view this query in design view. Now, if what we want is those that are less, now look at it. Let me quickly let me delete this. I'm back to the old whatever, less than 20 alone. Is that okay? When we run it, how many data do we have? 3. If I now put and gender equals male, how many data will I have? Just try first. Eh? Who is saying 1? You deserve an applause. So how do we implement it? Let's go to implementation now. So instead of putting that or under, you put it the same criteria where you have the first one. You see the difference? You now type your M there. Do you see it now? So this is now and, because they are on the same level. If age is less than 20 and M and gender equals M, display the age, gender, and matric number. So if you run this, you see the result. So the person that you can see. So this is the only person that satisfied two criteria out of the 10. And by the time I copy out space around, the only thing that changed is that or changing to ant. But let me copy it out just for you to see, just to satisfy your curiosity. You can see the same thing. The only thing that changed is that these are changed for all. Let me take a question. Well, I have 5-10 minutes. If there's anything you don't understand from what we have discussed, you are cool.
Are you sure?
You just sometimes the design side of change. How we gather information from both the table and theory at the same time.
You can. That's why I said if you have another opportunity to create another table. Do you get? We use the same matrix number. Then that's why you now understand relationship. Because at that time you have to create a relationship. So you can say pick this from this, pick this from this, pick where this equals this. And that is why when it's list, that is the reason why it's putting the table name before the field name. Because the field name also could be in the other record. Look at the example I gave to you. You have your matric number, your first name, your surname in your basic database. You have your matric number, your first name in your record. So when you use matric number, how do you know the table you are running to? So that's why we now say medical.matric number, result.matric number, biodata.matric number. Do you get it? So and with that, it's great clarity. And that is one of the reasons why when you are seeing your file and you're taking a whole space, always use all that stuff. So that you know when you one word and when you speak different words, that there are issues. You have the space advantage and you also have the one word advantage. I need to understand. You know, for this case, when you are interacting with a practical application like this, when you are in class, you can connect those theories. That's where you're actually getting. These are the things you look at for when you go for CWES, when you do for to go and do intern. Those are the things you look at for, those are the things you get, and that's what finishes your entire person. Is that okay?
Different.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I want to thank you, Charlie. In the first place, myself, I started with work in me when I was the head of organization.
That's correct.
The work assistant, but you had experts in this area and it's well called at the database management. That is why I have a meeting on board. I would have swear for me there and you to figure out some ways, but I can never be detailed as it is. So as I rightly as I always tell you, like leadership has done, you know, why people just think it's about who we are going beyond. Next week, when it is, we are going to have a direct forum with the Sister Dialogue from USA. If possible, it's going to be virtual. And it's not only LIS, LIS last year, also be done for all of us to be throughout. Then you will now understand what Mr. Deputy has taught you. Because the man today found himself in USID, not because of the certificate he has in LIS, but because of his knowledge of database management. And as at that time, what was the database management was able to maneuver was CDICs. Just a window-based library management software, and it's totally out of extension. But that was what actually brought him into USIT. That little knowledge of database management, let me use one manipulation, that he was able to navigate his way, and that today, maybe to get money have to go in the area of the energy. So you are so privileged. The opportunity that I, for one, as a person, did not even have
Never had
when
it.
I was a student. All that you are teaching you, I was taught, but it was theory. Pure theory. No access to the good system. But we can't say we can't give you what we're giving. You will just come out of the university and just the way you play. You went down. So you should like I want us to give a hand of applause to whatever. The challenge is like exactly. Also is place of primary assignment 9 year life of it's also a PhD student. I don't know whether you have done.
I'm not done. It is stressing my life.
Very database and I think so. If I'm not making any mistake. So it was for almost it was closer to the library, but it's not the library. But he worked in the library and he wants